Welcome to the podcast today. I am Megan Hillier, and I am back once again. A few weeks ago, I recorded a podcast episode and talked about all the new things that I was doing and how it was all going. And then things changed. I think the week later, I closed my group membership and I decided to change a few things. And so I took that episode down, so it's not there anymore. But there are a few of you who listen to it. You might be, well, you probably aren't actually confused. You probably don't actually think about it that much. But I'm here. I'm back again, and we're starting again. So here's Relaunch 2.0, I guess. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for your support and for being here, for listening to this podcast. If you've been here from the beginning, you know that things have changed a few times and not very consistent. And but that's okay. I'm here. We're here again. I'm recording this episode for today. I have hopes to be more consistent and to maybe limit some of the perfectionism that I had for this podcast, because I would go hard for a few months and then totally do nothing. So I'm going to try to give myself some grace and just do what I can and record what I can, and hope you'll join me in that journey. So a few weeks ago, I decided to close the group membership that I had just ran for 1 month. I realized it was not actually something that I wanted to continue doing. It felt hard to get people to join, and I wanted it to be a low-cost membership, and low-cost means that I need lots of people to join it in order for it to actually be a sustainable thing for me to do. It was just feeling draining, not working out. So I talked to a lot of people that I would say are my ideal client, people that I feel like what I'm doing and what I want to be doing fits with their goals. I talked to a lot of them, and they're like, honestly, I would not want to join a group membership. That just feels like too much to commit to. So scrapped it, refunded everyone, and starting again, starting slower. Well, I don't know about starting slower, but I'm kind of pivoting things a little bit. A lot of what I have wanted to kind of combine and share here through Know Your Ancestors is, number one, how to learn about and know who our ancestors are, right? How to actually learn about their lives and learn about what happened to them. And second, kind of a part of that might seem a little woo-woo or maybe a little weird to a lot of people, especially a lot of people that have been in my community for a long time, because this might not be why you came here. And that is to connect to your ancestors, to actually feel their presence, to actually feel them around you, and to feel their strength and support in your life. So I'm really working to pair those two things in what I offer and what I teach. So if that feels awesome to you, stick around. If that feels too weird to you and you're like, I'm out, that's totally fine. I totally get it. And I will not be offended if you feel like what I'm doing now doesn't fit. I've actually lost a lot of followers on Instagram, where I primarily share posts and information, as I've been talking more about connecting to your ancestors and that we can actually feel our ancestors around us. And that's fine. So just wanted to get that out there. So in hopes to find more of those people that want to connect to their ancestors, that want to feel their presence more, that want to understand who their ancestors are, that have maybe heard about ancestral trauma, ancestral healing, and they don't know much about their ancestors. So maybe they don't even know who their great-grandparents are. I'm hoping to find those people, because that is really who I want to work with. I know in the past I've taught a lot about practical genealogy tips, like how to actually do this work. I had online courses and that sort of thing. So a lot of people that follow me are fellow genealogists or other people that have done genealogy for decades, and they want to maybe to learn a few things. So I'm kind of branching out to a whole different world. So if you are someone that maybe you have some friends that you think this might be a fit for them, I would love for you to share this podcast with them, or share my Instagram account, Know Your Ancestors, to really find those people that maybe don't know much about their lineage, or maybe they do know some, but they don't know very much, and they really want to tap into that piece of knowing who their ancestors are, to help them in their own journey of knowing themselves. So I feel like that was a very roundabout way to say that I am offering a 3-day journey, I'm calling it, next week, Monday to Wednesday, October 27th to 29th. It's going to be a 3-day kind of time where we meet every morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So that's noon Eastern Time. It's not going to be super long, like less than 30 minutes, to spend some time thinking about your ancestors, thinking about their lives, thinking about who they were. I'll give you a short little piece of homework for each day to hopefully help you honor and remember and connect to your ancestors. This time of year, there's traditions all over the world where this is seen as the time of year where ancestors are most close, that the veil is thinned. And so I feel like this is a good time for this type of experience. If you would like to join that, I'll put the link in the show notes. But if you go to knowyourancestors.co.co/remember, you can sign up for that free experience. Okay, so then I wanted to talk a bit more about what I'm going to be doing here. We're launching the podcast again. Hello. Hi, I'm here. And I'm going to try really hard to do weekly episodes. I have one episode lined up that I'm going to post next week. That was from a guest that I recorded months ago, which I really apologize to this guest for taking so long to publish this episode. But I researched her ancestors and shared with her some about her ancestors. So I'm going to be sharing that episode next week, and I'll share more solo episodes, and then I'd like to line up some more guests. Not necessarily that I would research their ancestors, but that we'd talk about why it's important to learn about our ancestors, or maybe we'll talk to people that have experiences that they want to share that I feel like will be valuable for this conversation. Stay tuned for that. I'd love for you to follow along on the podcast and to rate it and review to get more people aware of the podcast. And lastly, I just want to talk about what I'm going to be offering here. And that is a couple things. So first of all, there's that free class next week, and that is going to be leading to something that I'll be announcing on day 3. So if you want to hear about that first, make sure you join that 3-day little experience that I'm doing next week. And then I am also offering 2 other things. So one thing I've been working on for quite a while, it's gone through different iterations in my mind, and I finally mostly figured it out. And that is something that I'm calling an ancestral analysis, which I might actually change the name because I don't know if analysis really conveys the magnitude of what it is. But that's really what it is an analysis of your 4, 5, or 6 generations of your family tree, where I'm looking at all the different facts about these ancestors in your tree, pulling out details about their lives, pulling out signs of trauma or resilience in their lives so that we can, look at what things happened to your ancestors. There's lots of talk lately about ancestral trauma, about healing your lineage, collective trauma, all that sort of stuff, which I think that's good. I think there is lots that has been passed down through epigenetics, which I've talked about on this podcast before. Like they're finding that trauma, things that happened to your ancestors before your line was conceived, like that has been passed down through DNA, through epigenetics, altering how DNA is expressed, and that can be passed down. It can also be healed, right? I feel like there is a lot of focus on that right now, but I feel like sometimes there might be too much focus on that, that yes, our ancestors went through things and some of that pain has been passed down, but that's not like an excuse. It doesn't have to define who we are, I guess. But I do feel like there's power in understanding what happened to our ancestors, to look at their lives, to understand who they were, what things might have happened to them, what historically was going on at the time and place that they lived. Because that really does help us not only understand who they were, but kind of maybe give more grace to those people in our lineage. Maybe there's people that did horrible things, and understanding maybe their upbringing or their parents or their grandparents and where they lived and when and what kind of the culture was at the time, that might give some understanding and healing to that pain. So through that ancestral analysis, that's what we do. We look at those things. We look at the hard things that happened, and we also look at maybe the good things, like what things did they have to overcome? Obviously, there's different amounts of information available for different individuals where they lived. We're not always going to find birth, marriage, death records. We're not always going to find newspaper articles that explain more about their life. We're not going to find court records that explain some of the trauma that they went through, but sometimes we will. And so through that ancestral analysis, that's what we do. We research, we pull those things out and really get a better understanding of who your ancestors are. And then I do a write-up for each of those individuals in those generations, however many generations you choose to get done for those ancestral analysis. I do a write-up about their life and then also the signs of trauma or resilience to really get an understanding of who they were. And then I also meet with you. So after that's all done, I meet with you. We go over everything. I will have sent it to you beforehand so you had a chance to look over things. And then we just talk about what it was like to read these things, to get to know these ancestors more, to maybe see where some of that pain or some of those limiting beliefs that you have might have come from. See maybe why your parents are the way they are or grandparents. And then if you would like, we do a guided meditation where I take this information that I found and create a tailored meditation for you to slow down, to take a minute, and to envision your ancestors and to build that relationship with them. This isn't like talking to them, like we're not asking them for advice or anything. It's more remembering them, honoring them, and feeling their presence. So that is the ancestral analysis, and that is something that I am really excited about. It is not a cheap thing. Like I spent a lot of time working on it, and I don't have expertise in all of the areas in the world, so I have other genealogists that I will have help with these as needed to really get good research for your family tree, and to really uncover as much as we can about these ancestors. So if you are interested in that, you could send me an email. I don't have information really about it on my website yet because I'm still getting the words to do that, and I'm working on this free thing for now. If that appeals to you, this is the lowest price that it will ever be. So if you would like to be one of the first to do this ancestral analysis, I have completed one and I'm working on another one right now, but it's a really cool experience. Like I want to do it for myself because I think there's something to looking at all of the information about your ancestors to really see a bird's eye view. I think it really gives ourselves a better understanding of who we are. So that is that. But then I also am just doing like a genealogy journey, is what I'm calling it, where we can meet every month, where I'll do a certain amount of research for your whatever goals you have for your family tree. And we'll just research your family tree for whatever you are wanting done. So maybe there's like one branch of your family tree that you want to learn more about. And maybe you want to pull some more information out about. Maybe there's ancestors that maybe you're going to go to like your ancestral homeland and you want to know where they lived, where they went to church, where they were married, that sort of thing. We can also do that as kind of a customized plan. So either way, if you want any of those one-on-one offerings from me, you can email me at megan@knowyourancestors.co or send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or text me, whatever. Anyways, so I just wanted to touch in again to remind you that I'm here. Have been kind of going through a lot of iterations to try to figure out what I'm doing. And I feel like I've gotten it and I'm really excited to do this. So thank you for being here. Again, sign up to join Remember. 3 days, 30 minutes every morning, where we can learn about and connect to your ancestors. Go to knowyourancestors.co/remember to sign up. So thanks for listening today, and we will see you next week.